She has been talking to this guy for like a month, but something happens, like it just doesn't work out. If you guys start talking to me, can I talk to him or not?
Once my friend starts liking somebody, like there's a veil that is over my eyes. I can't even see.
It's like
relationships that are never relationships that actually hurt
the most.
So like
You are the one who reigns from.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ifunaya. If it's your first time here, and I have my lovely friends here. There are no strangers on this channel, so you can introduce yourself.
My name is Naomi Angel.
Yes.
my name is Mufe.
Well, we're going to be asking them questions and we're going to be sharing our thoughts on relationships, dating, and just things that happened in our 20s. We're all in our 20s, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Early 20s.
Early 20s to be exact. So yeah, I'm really excited to dive into this conversation. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so let's get started. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, so my first question is, actually, firstly, I want to get you guys' like unpopular opinion. Like, what is, a common belief that you guys don't agree with?
Yeah, I can go first. So I don't believe in soulmates. Like I don't feel like there's just one person on this earth with like a billion people for you.
Yeah.
I feel like there's multiple people that you can find things in common with. But I don't think there's just one person. God is not wicked. He won't just match you with one person. Like, there's multiple people that you can be, compatible with.
Yeah.
That's my.
I actually like that.
Yeah,
I agree with
that's
that.
really
Yeah. Should I go next?
Yeah,
Okay. I think for me, it's when like people are like, oh, write a list of everything you want in a guy, and like that guy is not the person that's going to come and meet you. I feel like there are probably like maybe personality traits or like a few things that you can find like in a person, but like I don't really agree with like the whole list thing. Yeah, it's just not for me.
I think that like a list is almost like putting God in a box.
Exactly.
Like, you can't just restrict how much God can do to like a list of 20 qualities. Like He knows what's best for you.
Yeah.
I would say mine is I don't think you can ever be like 100% ready for marriage. I think it's one of those things where you actually don't know what you're getting into as much as you think you do before you get into it. So
Yeah.
that's my hot take.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next question is, how do you guys feel about dating apps? Like, would you go on a dating app, or is like not your cup of tea?
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I haven't tried it, but I know people that have. I've also seen some horror stories about people that meet up and then they die.
Yeah. What if it's like Christian dating apps?
Yeah, but like Christian people like
people that make you
Christian.
True.
For some people it's like religion. Like they believe that God exists, but they don't have a relationship with God, and to like unpack that is like, or to get to that point where I'm like, oh, like do you actually have a relationship with God? Is like, how do you get there? Because you could be Catholic, and you're Christian, so
they're different.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking like if I didn't get the app, then I wouldn't have met you. Like,
it's just the same thing for me. I feel like I rather things happen more naturally, right? It's like, okay, I feel like I want to be in a relationship, let me go on this dating app and like make it happen. That's how like I think about it in my head, so it doesn't really make sense for me.
It works
but it works for people. There are actually people that I've seen that met on a dating app and like they're married and like they have a beautiful life.
They felt led to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I also feel like similar to what you said about the list. I feel like it's like restricting God to an algorithm. Like, what are the chances that like, I don't know, I just very like you taking matters into your own hands. Like you're not really letting things, like you said, like happen naturally. So personally, it's not my cup of tea, but if it's yours,
then that's fair. And I think it's also different when you feel led by God to join the dating app, because it could also be an avenue like to meet people and all that. So I feel like if you feel led, yes, but for me it's just like, okay, like maybe God wants me to wait a year so I can like work on myself or grow, but like me just being like, oh, like I want to date, let me go on dating app, I think that's where it's like kind of different.
Also like called to be set apart. So if the world is doing dating through the apps, are we not supposed to not do it that way?
Yeah. And there's also something about it that makes it seem like a casual thing. Like, it's like, okay, like, are we just dating to see how things go? Or like, is there actually purpose and intent like in this?
I mean, they have this in their bio. They seem like looking for someone to get married to.
Or really?
Yeah, like,
that's
different.
yeah.
No, it's one of those things where like there's no like like there are 100% exceptions. There are people in beautiful, loving, godly relationships that mess up apps. But for me personally, that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, same here. Wow. Okay, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Like, do you share the same sentiments? Yeah. Okay. So the next question. The next question. Oh my gosh, this is like my favorite question here. How do you guys feel about? Let me paint like.
She's scared.
Okay, so let's say I'm dating a guy, or like let's say Angel is dating a guy, or no, Angel is talking to a guy, right? She has been talking to this guy for like a month, but something happens, like it just doesn't work out. If the guy starts talking to me, can I talk to him or not? Like, how do you feel about that? So if you had a failed talking stage with a guy, like can that guy move to your friend, or like would you mind if your friend starts dating the guy?
It's actually so funny because I feel like we were having a conversation about this recently. I feel like if it's my close friend, I think that's kind of crazy. And not because like I still have feelings for the guy or anything. I just feel like, again, there's so many people in the world. Like, why is it my friend that you want to move to? If it's an acquaintance, go ahead. I can even help you guys, set it up. But my close friend is just like, I don't know, I'll just be side-eyeing you, like, were you feeling him the whole time that we were talking? Like, what do you guys think?
That's a good point.
I feel the same. Like, I mean, it depends also on like the depth of like how the
talking stage.
I mean, she said for a month.
Yeah.
So, and like
a lot can happen in a month.
a lot can happen in a month. Falling asleep on FaceTime and doing all these things. It's like,
but should you be doing that in a month? Another conversation.
Supernatural speed. But yeah, like there's emotions would have built up, and I'm most likely talking to my friend about this person as well.
Exactly.
So it's like, as I'm talking to you about him, like,
but I get that, but it's like, okay, so because like it didn't work out with her, so in that whole friendship group he can't move to anybody there.
I feel like
yes.
If honestly, like I feel like it's one of those things where like if he knows that this person is my close friend, like as in like how close we are, I think that's crazy. If it's somebody who is like, you know, on the outer courts or like an acquaintance, it's fine. But like,
and honestly, like I remember having the conversation. You were saying like, what if God has ordained them to be together?
Exactly.
Very good. So I think this is God that ordained them. That's amazing. But I feel like then the friend and I would no longer be like
100%.
Really
100%. There'll be distance.
Because I'm assuming that I'm not over it yet. I'm not over the full talking stage, and like. Yeah, like how?
Wow, so like that's the end of the friendship.
You know, I won't say
like you guys
there'll be distance. Maybe we can, reconcile later on, but like there'll definitely be distance.
I mean,
because I don't think I can handle that.
Because I know like a month doesn't seem like that long, but like
feelings.
I know it's the relationships that are never relationships that actually hurt
the most.
So like you don't want to, it's just
again, these are personal opinions. You might think that we're crazy, but this is just how I feel.
That's actually fair. I think for me, I feel like I wouldn't mind, like if I'm sure like, okay, this relationship, like it didn't work out and I know like that's not God's will for me, like I'm okay with the person moving on. But I've also never been in that situation, so it's easier to say.
But put yourself we've never been in this situation. I've never been in this situation.
Same.
Put yourself
as in one of us right here. They play. I think I feel like I'm betraying you. Like,
okay, that's the only thing. Me as a friend, I'll feel like
no matter how it's been 10
betrayed.
years, and then it's still like
and I also feel like for me personally, once my friend starts liking somebody, like there's a veil that is over my eyes. I can't even see.
It's like
I can't see them. Like I just don't even see them in that way. He's just a guy.
So even if he comes to you and he's like, oh my gosh, Angel, I really
thank you
so much.
Thank you. Next.
Wow. Okay. It's giving loyalty. It's giving. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, but it seems like you would.
No. I actually wouldn't, but I feel like I wouldn't. Don't worry, guys. We're safe. do you guys think you can genuinely have a male friend that is not like trying to get to you, or like you guys will secretly like each other? Like, yeah, because lots of times, like this girl, she posted a video and she was just like, shout out to the male friends that like are always there for you, like always you call away, and then people in the comments are like, marry him then, like things like that.
Yeah, I think like even with, if you see, like right now, if you see like a girl and a guy together laughing, having a good time, like you wouldn't assume that they're friends. Like people mostly like ship them together.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's possible, but for me, like I don't, like if I meet, I wouldn't try to make new
male
friends. Like at this point in my life, because
Yeah.
like I'm not. Like what's the point?
Yeah.
Like why are we?
Yeah, but if it's someone that you maybe grew up with, or like you knew, like,
I was going to
or
say,
like in church, so
I was going to say like
Yeah.
childhood friends, and even in church, like
Cause like, what do you mean by are we friends?
we're hanging out
in
in
church,
church,
in church, like you can talk to like the male.
yeah, but if you guys
but
text,
we're not,
like you FaceTime on a random Wednesday afternoon,
like I feel like the male friends I would have now are friends that I probably had like, maybe from high school or from university. Like it's not, I wouldn't make
a new male friend.
So if
now.
a guy comes to you like, oh, I want to be friends, like,
no,
I'll look at you sideways.
I'll be like, I
but
have enough friends.
you know, like also men that like are trying to move to you always come like on a
as a friend,
like,
yeah.
oh, I just
feel
want to be
like
friends.
Men that want to be your friends at this point, they definitely find
they
you
know.
attractive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
that's
maybe,
what you want to be
there's
friend.
there's no intention at the start, but like the reason they want to be your friend is because they find you attractive.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So
Yeah, that's true. But like, can you genuinely have a male friend? So even if it's someone like, let's say you met this guy in university, and like you guys have just been like on a friendly basis.
I think
Like,
you can. I think you can, but I mean, me, the way I'm close to my female friends is different from the way I'm close to the male friends that I have. So there's a level of like vulnerability and intimacy that I have in my female friendships that I just tend to stay away from.
Yeah.
In my male friendships, I don't know if it's the same for you guys.
Yeah,
I
because
think so.
talking to a man, like being vulnerable, like it's just there's going to be
I feel like it's just about having boundaries then.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
setting
So that's
clear
why-
Because
boundaries.
of the FaceTime you guys at
Yeah.
3 a.m., but like my male friend, like why are we talking on the phone at 3 a.m.? Like what are we talking
true.
about? You know
Or
what I
like
mean?
going out like one-on-one together with your real friends. Actually,
Yeah.
not just deceiving ourselves at this point.
Stop that. If you're doing that, stop it.
It's truly.
stop
Yeah.
here. So just get together.
Period.
Exactly. And that's fine. Okay, so this question, I've been talking to this guy for 3 to 4 months and he hasn't said anything. Do I continue waiting, like to just see if he like brings something up, or do I ask him about it? Like, oh, like we've been talking for a few months. What's up? Like, is there anything here? Are we just friends?
So it sounds like you're at the point where you want to ask, what are we?
Fucks.
No, like
No, I think if a guy has not stated his intentions 3 to 4 months of talking, or like has not shown any like interest in like progressing or taking the relationship a step further, I feel like you should just remove yourself from the situation and bow out, because
Really?
when you start, I feel like actually no, I lie. If you see potential in it, I feel like you should ask.
you should, like that question comes when like there's like inconsistency.
Yeah,
So
that's
just-
true.
Or you're confused, and once you're confused, you want to ask like what's going
Yeah.
on. But you know, if it's like going well and you
And
see
he's
you see it moving in the right direction, then you
Yeah.
can say, oh, like, and then you guys are in a place where you can both ask each other.
Yeah.
So, but if you're confused or you're like,
Yeah.
what's going
What
on?
are we
Yeah.
doing?
And God is not the author of confusion.
Exactly.
So if you're confused, then
Maybe it's not.
check it out.
Yeah, and I just feel like you wouldn't be confused if there's like clarity from the guy's part, or like even both of you, just like that transparency, like oh, this is where we're going, this is what like
Exactly.
I'm thinking, you know.
Yeah.
But even like a question that's coming to my mind now is like, you know how when guys come, it's like, oh, like I want to be friends and like see where this goes. So it's like not like see where this goes, but like I want to be friends and like maybe potentially a relationship could come out of this. But it's now like, okay, so after you guys have been friends, is it like at what stage is it not like,
so
oh,
if that's your intention, like you've stated your intention that you want to start off as friends, and
Yeah.
then it would potentially develop into something, but
Yeah.
but with that intention there has to be like you have to put things in place to actually get there. You can't just say you want to be friends and then you're talking to me every two weeks.
Exactly.
Like then it's never going to blossom into anything. Like it's just going to stay friends. Like, so I think if that's your intention, then you actually have to like put in the work, and like the person is a friend, but like a special.
It's like a friend,
a
special friend. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Does it always have to start from like that friendship? Like, can't it just be direct? Like, hey, I think you're cute. Like, let's get to know each other.
The basis of any relationship should be a friendship. As a friend, like when you genuinely enjoy somebody as a friend, like it just makes your romantic relationship the better because you genuinely enjoy spending time with the person. Like you genuinely like the person's company, even in times. Because I don't have experience, but I feel like in marriage there's sometimes where like there'll be seasons where you may not feel as romantically inclined to the person, but if the person is still your friend, then you can
I've actually heard that
it's important.
It's a good foundation, and I think you should also the guy has his intentions, but you should also have like what you want, so that when the person comes, you're not just like going with their flow. You also know what you want, and you can be like, this is what I want, and if you can't give it to me, then
And our generation is not having like difficult conversations or like awkward conversations enough. Like if everybody was like open and just be like from the jump, this is what I want, this is my timeline, like are you down from the jump, the vetting process will be a lot faster. Like people lie, but like
they're rushing into it when they do that.
I mean like it's also hard to like see that like as a girl now and I'm talking to a guy, I wouldn't just be like, oh, so like my timeline is a year. Like obviously like you should be upfront about it.
I'm not saying like the first conversation you have, but early on, like it's not after you've been talking to somebody for a year that you not say, oh, by the way, I want to get married next week. Like from very early on,
within the talking stage, like the 3-4 months,
you should know timelines. You should know what's his vision, what is your vision, what are your goals, like what do you want in a partner, does he like fulfill the very basic things that you need from a partner before we now start getting into like the specifics, right? Like what are his qualities, what are the fruits, are you seeing the fruits of the spirit?
Fruits of the spirit, to be precise.
Very, 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 very important. So I feel like if we are having the difficult conversations earlier on, I'm not saying first week, second week, but earlier on, it will separate the chaff from the wheat.
Amen. Can we take offering? Well, I really love that. I think the important thing is having conversations early, because a lot of people are like, oh, we'll just see where it goes, or like I don't want to be too upfront, but like we don't have time to waste. Please, like we all know what we're here for. Like let's just
came here for.
Okay, wow. Okay, so there's a young couple. They've been dating for a year. They are in their 4th year of university, probably going to get married maybe when they graduate and start working. So that's like they both just like taking their walk with Christ more seriously, and they're battling with sexual sin, or like it's a struggle for them in their relationship. What would you advise them in that situation? Are you blushing?
That was a curveball. I feel like the very, very first thing that they should do is surrender like their desires to God. Like whatever urges you are feeling, whatever way your body is doing you, I feel like you should surrender that to God before we start talking about things like having accountability partners and setting the right boundaries. And in you surrendering it to God, what does his word say about it? What does his word say about sexual immorality and the consequences of that, right? Then actually start doing the physical work to make sure that you guys are not in a situation where you are always
like what Angel said, just put God at God should be the foundation the center of the relationship, so that like maybe before you hang out, pray. Before you have your hangout session, pray. And just make sure that Christ is at the center, because
and I think I think for me, I'll just add like maybe the more practical aspect to it. Like both of like those answers like really important as well, but even just like practically accountability partners, I guess, like after surgery and like knowing where both of you like heads are, like if this is something you want to do long term, and also if this is, and if you've both chosen to like honor God in your relationship, then I would say like actually take the practical steps to do that. Like for example, maybe set boundaries in like the way you relate,
like hang out,
like how you
have
hang out.
curfew.
Know your triggers, like
Exactly. Know your, that's like being self-aware, right?
What.
Knowing your triggers, setting boundaries. Pastor Munja says this thing, it's kind of like cheesy, but she's like, if you don't want to eat the food, like don't smell it. So it's like you're fasting and you don't want to eat, like don't like bring it close to your nose and smell it, right? So it's just like, okay, like you know you won't do anything, but like you're at his house like 11 p.m, you guys are cuddled. Like it's like anyway, so I think like that's like a practical tip. And also maybe having accountability partners, maybe confiding in a mentor or a trusted like older friend or even your friend, right? Like, oh, like hold me accountable in this way. I think practically like that could help as well. Yeah, that's all the questions I have. This was so fun. So I'm guessing you guys are going to come back for part 2. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. Like I'm really glad that you guys came. And yeah, I hope you guys have been blessed by this, and I hope you guys really feel encouraged, or like it answered like some of the questions that you had. So yeah, but yeah, please leave comments, let us know your own thoughts and opinions. If you have any questions as well, we'll be answering that in part 2. So yeah, thank you, and see you in my next video.
Bye. Subscribe.
Subscribe.